Nigel wants to reform the NHS. Nobody in their right minds can turn around and honestly say that the NHS works. The general taxation system that we have doesn't work. There's a reason no other countries around the world copy our model of funding the health service. Nigel did an interview with Beth Rigby, not necessarily the wisest thing to do, but he actually came across pretty well.
The French have a statutory health system levied from a mix of contributions from earned income, unearned income. You know, the central government funding and a little bit of a top-up fee. That's what's made Labour or allowed Labour to levy this charge.
Well, if Labour are upset that the rich might have to pay for healthcare, I find that a very odd position for it to be in.
Just to be clear, do you want it still funded through general taxation, or you think you need to look at the funding model?
I do not want it funded through general taxation.
Right, okay.
It doesn't work.
Okay.
It's not working. We're getting worse bang for the buck than any other country, particularly out of those European neighbours. I want it free at the point of delivery, but it's how we get there. And I'll tell you something, where Starmer is out of touch, and Labour are out of touch on this, as many other issues, most people out there in the real world know the NHS isn't working.
Now, it was hard to get a word in edgeways, of course, because Beth Rigby is an establishment shill who doesn't want Reform UK to be able to get their policies across. But Nigel is right. What he means, what he's trying to say is, and Reform UK are walking a tightrope here, they need to make sure they get this absolutely right, delivering the message. What he's trying to say is, it needs to be funded differently. And when Beth Rigby and anybody else talks about Germany and France, etc., yes, some of it's taxation, but I'm afraid some of it is an insurance-based system as well. Free at the point of delivery would mean if you break your leg and you need urgent care, you can go to a hospital and get treated. But some things are funded by insurance policies. It's not a full American insurance system. It's a kind of half-in, half-out system. And by the way, I am in favour, personally, of charging for GP appointments, especially if people don't turn up. The trouble for Reform and what they're going to have here is that the Tory party and the Labour party haven't changed anything in the NHS since it was first founded, I think in 1948, because they're terrified. So all they do is throw more money at the problem, and the NHS wastes that money all the time, giving stupid rainbow crossings at hospitals, following their own carbon net zero dreams. Fuck that. Start treating patients. More than half the staff in the NHS are admin staff. They're not even clinical staff. The problems are obvious and the problems are many. And I applaud Reform for actually being one party that's going to come out and talk about this. And then idiots, juveniles like Starmer come out and go, oh, we're going to charge you for the NHS. Well, I'll tell you what, it wouldn't be a bad thing. Because look at the state of it. Maybe if people did have to pay something into it, they'd respect it more and they wouldn't just go every time they got a runny nose.